Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Thursday, November 23rd, 2023. I wasn't sure I was going to make this video or not. I was going to otherwise do these things I'm going to look at in this video in my live tomorrow, and most likely will do I was going to do an English recap so the other people would hear about it as well that are of course are not capable of listening to the Dutch lives. And interesting enough, I was like, I have some time, so I'm just going to make a short video. And I just wanted to take a look at, of course, the voting yesterday here in the Netherlands. PVV is the biggest party. Geert Wilders leads that party. And I actually saw some articles on Telegram from international channels who are like, well, there's now a fresh new wind of change in the Netherlands. Not really. Geert Wilders, I've spoken about him before. I actually talked about him also in my Dutch live, but I don't think I've mentioned it lately in like an English video. But there is an interview with a woman named Annemarie van Blijenburg. And she has an interview on YouTube. I think it's even in English. I've shared it many times before. Annemarie van Blijenburg. Dat is Blijenburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Blijenburg. I could be wrong. I'll try to see if I can put the name under, or maybe even find the interview. If I don't forget, I'm very busy today, so I'm making a quick video now. Or maybe someone else will put it in the reaction, or at least the name so you can search for it, because YouTubes are not very keen on links, although this is on YouTube themselves, so who knows, they might be able to place this. But she mentions about rituals happening where she was actually present. She was married to someone from the underworld who was arranging children and things like that for certain things happening, awful things. And there were also from the royal family present and some politicians, among them Geert Wilders. So he is very much in that side. He is really the definition of controlled opposition. He's been around for a very long time. He's always talking about the refugees, trying to create divide and conquer, distractions. He's never really talking about the real things happening. It's always distractions to keep a certain control. So this is actually the same thing that happened with the voting for the Senate. There were a lot of farmers at that moment in time very angry. So BBB, that's the party as well. Supposed to be for the farmers, but they have, they're financed by Monsanto or Bayer, some very large company. If you really look at how they were conceived as a party, so they really are not there for the farmers. And if you look at their voting, they aren't really for the farmers either, but they are like, they purposely do that. So if there's a lot of resistance, in that case there were a lot of resistance from the farmers, they just push this farmer party. Look, they're really taking care of you, you have to vote for them. And then of course they manipulate that voting, but then no one is surprised that suddenly this party is up in front. And the same thing happened, of course, in this voting, that there's a lot of resistance from the Dutch people towards the government, towards all these parties that have been around for so long. There's a lot of, anger and frustration, just when you see in other countries as well, just like in the USA with the frustration with Mr. B. Well, we have a lot of frustration with, of course, Rutte and all these people there. So now suddenly this party that's always been around for such a long time suddenly, gets pushed forward. They in that way try to manipulate things and like, well, now you can shut up. Now you have the party that's going to help you, but ultimately they're not helping you at all. That's how it works for the dark energies. But I just wanted to take a look at that. So first I looked at the energy of Geert Wilders, and then I looked at what's going to happen with this new government they are trying to create, obviously, and most likely with PVV, and then of course other parties, and they'll need to have this agreement. So what's going to happen with that? But first, Geert Wilders himself. First we have the Knight of Pentacles. So there is a plan being rolled out. Very interesting. This is the central card for him. That's the Four of Swords. Standing completely still, isolated. This is not a very happy card, so to speak. Well, then we have in the past, we had the Ace of Swords. Underneath the Four of Swords, we've got the Five of Wands. So there's a lot of strife, a lot of fighting happening. Maybe inside of him, or maybe there are people outside not very happy with him. It's very interesting to see. So there's a different energy. And for the future, we have the Five of Swords and the Eight of Wands. Now, Eight of Wands is speed. A lot of things are going to happen. And this is a very rough, grim card. So I don't think it's going to end very well for Geert, or just in general for the party. This is like the abuse party. How do you say it? The abuse party. Maybe it is, in a way it is, if you look at his energy, obviously, and his background. But this is a card of abuse. You know, you see someone taking in all the swords and all the other people are left with nothing. It's a very grim card, especially power play card. And it also exposes things. So I think more and more things about him are going to come out. This doesn't really look that good for him with the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. So it may seem now like a victory for him, but I think it's short-lived and other things are happening. And it has to do with the plan. So I think more things about him are going to come out now. And it's very interesting what's going to happen, of course, with this entire situation of the forming of the new government here in the Netherlands. But this is speedy. There were things happening, speedy things like suddenly coming up. Very interesting. So of course I also looked at what's going to happen now with the forming of the government. Well, the first card I got was the Two of Swords. So it's not really going anywhere. We have the Ten of Cups as the central card, so it will seem like if there is going to be a government formed, like, yes, we finally found an agreement, look at us, this is going to be one big happy family. Interesting. I also felt with this card that it will actually unite the Dutch people more and more against the government, because, well, in the past there is the Five of Cups, a lot of disappointment and sadness, and of course a lot of people here in the Netherlands are very disappointed with what's been going on in the government. But this is of course also about waking up and understanding that we really do not need this political system in the way it is. We don't need this system at all. We have underneath the central card, so this is an influence, the Seven of Cups. This is confusion. I don't think this is going to be very clear. And if there's going to be a government, you know, it's going to be very vague. I'm not even sure if they manage to get to an agreement, because that's what they need. If parties come together, because we have multiple parties that have to work together, there has to be an agreement, like a government agreement. So they'll be agreeing on certain main topics, so they'll be able to, of course, you know, put down their foot against the opposition. But it's going to be very vague, so it could be that it's going to lead to quite some time before a government will be formed. It's possible it's not even going to be formed, because here we have the Six of Swords for the future and the Six of Wands, which is like a victory card, and this is a leaving behind card. So when I look at this, I have a feeling that it's going to be very tough to have this government. If there's going to be a government, I don't think it's going to last very long. I don't think it's going to last very long. So they could be pulling the plug out of this, you know, all these, because they can't come to an agreement, or they're going to pull the plug after it has formed, because it's going to be without a direction and very vague. It's like it's going to be very, very strange combination. And I think ultimately it will unite the people in the Netherlands to really see what's going on. And this is not going to be an improvement in any way, in what sort of way, form possible. So ultimately, this will be a victory for the people of the Netherlands. But it's going to be interesting to see what will come out. If they're already going to strand this entire, well, all these parties before it will even take off, or that we're going to get completely different parties trying to get like a minority government, or whatever government is going to come out of this, or they still manage to, you know, create a government with the parties now, the biggest parties now that came out of the voting, it's not going to last very long. This is moving away from this and uncertainty, like where are we going? But ultimately that will be a victory. So that's the feeling I'm getting from all this. I'd like to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.